Awaken the sacred power within. Unveil transformational energy through morning prayer. I never expected a single dream to change everything. But that morning, as the first rays of sunlight crept through my window, I felt a surge of energy that electrified the air around me. It was like my heart was in sync with the universe, pulsating with secrets I had yet to uncover. My breath caught in my throat as if the air was charged with something celestial. What was this force that shook me to my core? I woke up unsure, feeling lost in a world I didn't recognize. The whispers of doubt echoed in my mind. Was I simply a ghost in my own life? I glanced around my room, the faded walls reminding me of dreams once vibrant but now muted. I craved transformation, a spark to ignite the flicker of hope buried deep within. I could feel it, a calling to search, to seek beyond the mundane. That morning, the world outside my window was alive, a tapestry of vibrant greens and the intoxicating scent of blossoming flowers. Nature hummed a sacred hymn. I stepped outside into the gentle caress of a cool breeze. I closed my eyes and listened. Birds chirped like little messengers, inviting me to join their dance. My senses tingled, sensing something extraordinary lurking just beyond my vision. As I meditated, my thoughts drifted like clouds, each one heavy with meaning. I felt the weight of the universe resting upon me, urging me to break free from the chains of uncertainty. A vision flickered in my mind, golden light and shadow merging, hinting at secrets of the cosmos waiting to be unveiled. What was this mysterious energy? Why did it whisper my name in dreams? But then, like a door slamming shut, an uneasy silence fell. Doubt crept in again, gnawing at my resolve. Was I just chasing illusions? The world seemed to hold its breath, as if it too awaited an answer. I clutched my chest, a tightness spreading like tendrils of fear. I stood on the edge of something monumental, yet what lay ahead remained obscured. And just as I braced myself for revelation, a sudden rustling in the bushes shattered the stillness. My heart raced. Was it a sign? Or merely the wind playing tricks? I turned, my breath hitching, ready to seek the truth behind the shadows. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As I turned towards the rustling, my heart drummed a frantic rhythm, echoing the ancient calls of the wild. The moment felt timeless, as if I had slipped into a parallel realm where the mundane minutes elongated into something more profound. An unspoken anticipation hung in the air, electrifying my senses. The foliage shifted, revealing a young man, almost ethereal, with hair like wild vines and eyes bright like a clear sky. He stood motionless for a heartbeat, before breaking into a wide, knowing smile that seemed to illuminate the cavernous space inside me. "You called," he said, voice like honeyed sunlight. "And the world has responded." I blinked, half convinced he was a figment of my increasingly vivid imagination, a manifestation of my desire to connect with something greater. Yet there he was, solid, pulsating with energy that resonated with my own longing. I felt an unfamiliar pull, a magnetic force urging me to step closer. "Called," I echoed, my voice tentative, unsure if I even understood what I sought. He nodded slowly, a gesture steeped in wisdom. "The universe replies when we open our hearts to its call. You've felt it, haven't you? The energy coursing through your dreams and waking moments. It's an invitation." "What invitation?" "I think I'm lost," I confessed, revealing the struggles I kept locked away. "It feels like I'm chasing shadows, but I can't see what lies ahead." His expression softened, and he stepped into the soft sunlight filtering through the leaves, casting a warm glow over us both. "You're not lost. You're on the cusp of discovery. The signs surround you. Listen," he whispered, urging me closer. "Listen with your soul." With a tranquil inclination, he guided me to sit on the cool grass. I hesitated but followed his lead. As I took a deep breath and let my thoughts settle, An inexplicable clarity began to weave through the tapestry of my mind. The sounds of nature enveloped me, not just mere chirps or rustles, but a symphony of life binding together every being within its embrace. Feel the heartbeat of the earth, he instructed. Tune into the vibrations of this moment. Each breath deepens your connection. Closing my eyes, I surrendered to the rhythm of my surroundings. The wind danced around, caressing my skin in whispers, while the smell of earth and foliage flooded my senses. I felt an awareness emerging from the quiet corners of my being, a gentle nudging that guided me toward an unfolding narrative, that I in this meditative state. Visions surfaced not as distinct images, but as fluid sensations, waves of possibilities. A pale moon rose, casting silver trails of light over unfamiliar landscapes, vast oceans reflecting the stars, and mountains towering in majestic silence. Each clue, each hint shimmered in front of me like a piece of a puzzle yearning to fit. What awaited my discovery? As mysterious as the cosmos, I felt it intertwined with my essence, teasing, taunting, and just out of reach. Do you see? The young man's voice was a soothing balm. Awakening is a journey, not a destination. Trust your intuition. Let it be your guide. What are you truly searching for? His question lingered in the air, heavy with significance. On the brink of a revelation, I grappled with the search for clarity, for meaning. Was it a connection to something intangible, a deeper understanding of myself? Or was it a more profound purpose, a calling to serve beyond my own desires? As those thoughts began to crystallize, a rush of energy enveloped me, vibrating like a string plucked in the universe's grand orchestra. Suddenly, a vision broke for an ancient tree, its gnarled roots intertwining with time itself, bursting with life, holding secrets within its bark, expelling a radiant energy. The vision faded, leaving an echoing silence. In its wake, a question seeped into my heart. What is it that connects us all? Where do I fit within this grand tapestry? I opened my eyes, returning to the moment. Yet the mystery remained ever present, expanding within me like the universe itself. The young man smiled knowingly, and as I met his gaze, a fresh determination ignited within my spirit. I realized that without seeking answers, the journey held the true power. The unfolding itself was sacred. As the whispers of nature began to recede, a longing unfurled anew. What must I embrace to unlock the next step on this sacred path? The air shimmered around us, and I felt the remnants of the vision still swirling in my mind, whispering their secrets. The young man's presence was calming, yet vibrant, as if he carried the energy of the earth itself. You've begun to listen, he said softly, his eyes reflecting the gentle sunlight filtering through the canopy above us. But there's more, much more. Curiosity tugged at me. I wanted to delve deeper into this enigmatic path unfolding before me. What do I need to do? I asked, an urgent tremor in my voice. How do I awaken this power you speak of? Awakening is both an internal and external dance, he replied, gesturing toward the branches waving in the wind. Each day, the sun rises with intention, its light bestowing energy to all. You must connect with that rhythm, the transition of night yielding to day. It starts with a simple practice. He rose and invited me to follow him deeper into the grove. With each step, the world felt larger, the sounds of nature weaving a rich score around us. Birds fluttered overhead, their songs harmonizing with the gentle rustle of leaves. Morning is more than just a time, he continued, his voice threading into the very fabric of this enchantment. It's a sacred moment to breathe life into your intentions. That we arrived at a clearing bathed in soft, golden light. In its center stood a magnificent rock formation, ancient and wise, almost alive with its shimmering energy. The young man placed his hand on the stone, and I felt an involuntary urge to join him. My palm met the cool surface, and a jolt of warmth coursed through me, igniting a spark of understanding, a pulse of energy that connected me to the earth's rhythm. Close your eyes and breathe, he instructed, and I obeyed, inhaling deeply, allowing the air to fill my lungs. As I exhaled, I imagined sending my doubts and fears into the ground beneath me, allowing the rock to absorb and transform them. With each breath, I felt a release, a lightness replacing the heaviness within my chest. Now open yourself to the morning, he said, still with his hand upon the stone. Feel its essence, let it flow through you. What do you wish to awaken within? As I began to reflect on his question, images surfaced, dreams deeply buried, aspirations I had dimmed, and paths left unexplored. The tides of creativity surged through me, and I felt a yearning to express love, compassion, and authenticity in a world often shrouded in shadows. I opened my eyes, emboldened by the clarity that accompanied my breath. I wished to embody light, to bring hope, to inspire others, I declared, my voice steady against the whispering wind. But how do I transform this intention into action? The young man released a melodic laugh that danced through the air like music. A transformation beautiful yet challenging. It requires courage, vulnerability, and commitment. With each sunrise, you must remind yourself of this intention. Make it your morning prayer. Morning prayer? I echoed, intrigued. Yes, he affirmed, his eyes sparkling. A moment of reflection. A declaration of your heart's desire to align your spirit with the sacred rhythm of the universe. You will find that awakening is not a singular occurrence, but a series of moments strung together, each one offering its treasure. As he spoke, I felt the weight of that powerful idea settle gently within me. What if I falter? I asked, a trace of fear seeping in. Then you learn, he responded simply, with a smile that somehow held the wisdom of centuries. Falling is as much part of the dance as rising. Each stumble teaches you to trust in the rhythm, in the sacred flow of life. My heart swelled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. I longed to grasp this newfound understanding, to let it ground me as I ventured into the world. Thank you, I whispered, feeling immense gratitude swell within me. For everything. The young man stepped back slowly, his form appearing to blend with the light around him. Remember to listen to your soul, for it holds the truth of your journey. Awaken each morning, attune to your prayer, and embrace the sacred power within, he said before turning, merging seamlessly into the vibrant embrace of the forest. Alone in the clearing, I stood in stillness, the ripples of his words echoing in the depths of my heart. What beauty awaited as I opened my eyes to each dawn? What transformation would the morning light unveil? Would I find courage in vulnerability, or would fear still shackle my heart? With these questions swirling, I took a deep breath, stepping towards the unknown, ready to embrace the sacred power of my unfolding journey. The day lay ahead, blank and pregnant with possibilities, and I felt the stirrings of change whispering just beneath the surface of my consciousness. With the sun climbing higher, casting its golden threads through the branches, I departed from the clearing, a sense of purpose guiding my steps. The trees seemed to part with reverence, their rustling leaves encouraging me onward. My heart, still resonating with the vibrations of the silent rock, felt lighter, yet full, like a vessel ready to spill forth its essence into the waiting world. My mind brimmed with thoughts. Morning prayer. The very concept felt fresh, like unwrapping a gift nestled away in the attic of my soul. What would it truly mean for me to engage in this daily ritual? Would it deepen my connection to the world around me, or merely serve as a whisper drowned out by the clamor of daily life? I pondered these questions as I ventured back toward the village, a place steeped in routine and the comforting lull of familiarity. Yet something within me had shifted. The air crackled with anticipation as I noticed the colors of the world becoming more vivid, the blue of the sky more expansive, the greens of the foliage deeper. Each step resonated with the sacred heartbeat of the earth, urging me to pay attention, to listen. Arriving at the entrance to the village, I took a moment to observe my surroundings. Familiar faces moved with their daily tasks, lost in their thoughts. I felt a rising sense of yearning. I wanted to share what I had discovered, to extend the light I had begun to embody. But how? Would they even be open to such ideas in the mundane rhythms of their lives? Before long, I found my feet taking me to the small community square where the villagers gathered to exchange news, crops, and stories. As I approached, I noticed an old woman sitting quietly on a bench, her weathered hands knitting a soft blanket from threads of vibrant blue and green. Her eyes sparkled with a depth of understanding, as if she had seen many dawns and embraced countless transformations. Something drew me to her, and as I sat down beside her, I felt a connection, as if I was finding a piece of a puzzle I didn't know I was missing. "You seem troubled, dear," she murmured, not looking up from her work, but her fingers moved deftly, threading material into a tapestry of colors that I don't know how to express all that I felt, I confessed, the words spilling out before I could contain them. I experienced something profound to a vision, a sense of purpose. I long to share it, but I fear it may be lost in the din of life here. She paused, finally looking up, her gaze piercing yet gentle. The trouble you feel is shared by Munya, yearning to awaken that goes unrecognized amidst the busyness of the world. But every thread, every interaction, is a part of the greater tapestry. If you wish to awaken the sacred power within, begin by weaving your prayer into the fabric of your daily life. As her words sank in, I began to envision my journey as a weaving process, each intention a thread, each morning prayer a stitch, binding together my aspirations with the lives of those around me. But how can I do that? I asked, feeling the weight of the uncertainty still looming within me. Start small, she advised, a serene smile playing on her lips. An act of kindness here, a moment of presence there. Each action can be a part of your prayer, a ripple that resonates with your deeper intentions. Show others the beauty of connection through your transformation, and they may begin to seek their own light. I felt a rush of warmth at her words. It was as if she had offered me the key to a door I did not know existed, one that led not only to my personal awakening, but to a collective one. Thank you, I whispered, recognizing the gravity of this exchange. You've shown me a different way to weave my journey. As I took my leave, I felt a sense of gratitude envelop me. Each encounter and every moment, I realized, carried the potential to weave light and intention into the ordinary. But even as I walked away, questions burned brightly in my mind. How could I ensure that my intentions remained true amidst distractions? Would the world truly resonate with the vibrations of my morning prayers, or would they fade into silence like whispers on the breeze? With each step toward home, I knew my path would not just be about individual awakening, it would be about weaving together countless lives, illuminating the shared journey of every soul. And as the sunlight draped across the fields, casting shadows that danced like ancient spirits, I understood that I was only at the beginning of a much larger tapestry woven with the threads of connection, transformation, and a yearning for light. The village began to pulse with life around me, yet the encounter with the old woman lingered in my thoughts like a fragrant flower in the air. Each known path I walked felt rich with possibility, the mundane transformed into sacredness. It was in this tide of awakening that I resolved to try of my morning prayers. As evening slipped gently into night, I found a quiet spot beneath an ancient oak, its gnarled roots reaching like hands eager to touch the earth. The stars twinkled overhead, each one a whisper from the universe, lending me their light. Closing my eyes, I focused on my breath, letting the day's thoughts float away like autumn leaves. I envisioned weaving my intentions into a bright, luminous thread, delicate yet strong, shimmering under the celestial glow. Let this be more than ritual, I whispered, let it be connection. A gentle breeze curled around me, as if answering my call, awakening the sacred energy I sought to cultivate. I recalled the old woman's words, the simplicity of acts woven into daily fabric, and began to hone in on what it might mean for me. In the days that followed, I began to infuse my morning prayers with presence. Each dawn became a gentle invitation to acknowledge the world beyond my inner landscape. I would stand at my window, breathing in the freshness of the morning, offering gratitude to the simple beauty of the rising sun and the whisper of the wind. I spoke words of kindness not only for myself, but extended my prayers to those around me. One morning, as I ventured into the square with a heart full of intentions, I took the opportunity to engage with my neighbors. I noticed a child, a small girl with tangled hair, struggling to hoist a heavy basket of fruit. Her face, a mixture of determination and frustration, tugged at something deep within me. Without overthinking, I approached her, offering my assistance. "Let me help you with this," I smiled, taking half the weight from her. She looked up in surprise, then beamed, her laughter like crystal chimes in the bright morning light. In that moment, I felt a surge of connection, a small yet profound prayer being realized through an act of kindness. The basket felt lighter, not just in burden but in spirit. Yet, as the days wore on, I wrestled with the tension within. Would these small actions truly ripple beyond my immediate day? Was I truly weaving something transformative, or merely masking the deeper struggles lurking beneath the surface of village life? Every kindness, though radiant, seemed like a shimmering thread only half connected to something larger, a bigger pattern waiting to unfold. One afternoon, while wandering along the riverbank, I was startled by a figure emerging from the tall reeds. It was a man I recognized, one of the village storytellers, known for weaving tales under the moonlight. He gestured for me to join him. There was a warmth in his eyes, a knowing that made me feel as if he could see through the layers of my heart. "You are searching for something," he said, his voice a honeyed richness, echoing across the water. "The yearning to awaken is palpable. But awakening is not a destination. It is an ongoing journey, with twists and turns." His gaze drifted toward the shimmering surface of the river, observing the delicate dance of the water upon the stones. "Sometimes," he continued, "we must surrender our expectations to the current. Let the river teach you what intertwining means." Hope flared in my chest. Here was another thread in my tapestry, an encouragement to relinquish rigid thoughts of how transformation should manifest. I had been so focused on my own experience that I had not considered the broader implications of being in the flow of life. What could I learn from the rhythm of the river and the stories that ebbed and flowed like the tide? With a renewed sense of wonder, I pondered what it would mean to trust in the unknown, to allow each moment to unfold organically rather than straining to establish my own narrative. How could I intertwine my awakening with the spirit of community, without losing sight of the shared journey? As I walked away from the river, the sun dipped low, casting long shadows that beckoned me forward. I felt invigorated yet humbled by the vastness of the journey ahead. Each thread woven in prayer, each connection offered through kindness brought me closer to understanding the transformative power of our intertwined existences. Yet lingering questions danced like fireflies around me. If awakening is not a destination, how do we navigate the ever-growing tapestry of life? How do we embrace the unknown in our quest for purpose? And what lessons lie hidden in surrender, waiting to be discovered along our communal journey? The rhythm of the village continued to pulse with vibrant life, the air thrumming with laughter, shouting, and the nearly perfect notes of everyday exchanges. As I journeyed deeper into my morning rituals, I couldn't help but notice how my prayers began to thread through the fabric of our shared existence. Each breath became intertwined with the heartbeat of the village, each prayer an invitation to share in this blossoming awareness. One morning, captivated by the glow of dawn spilling over the horizon, I ventured further than usual, wandering into the outskirts where lush fields stretched like green silk sheets beneath the sky. The sun bathed everything in a golden hue, inviting me to explore the delicate balance of nature. I noticed a patch of wildflowers dancing in the breeze, their colors bright and brazen against the morning light. Kneeling among them, I felt compelled to connect further, to listen to their stories whispered by the wind. As I sat, the vibrant petals unfolding in their gentle sway seemed to embody resilience and surrender. They faced the sun openly, accepting its warmth while rooted in their earthbound sanctuary. In that moment, I realized that my journey mirrored theirs. Growth required both courage and a willingness to embrace the elements around me. Each prayer, each interaction with the world was like the gentle nurturing rain and radiant sunlight that helped them flourish. But with this realization also came a sense of uncertainty, a stirring that spoke of greater mysteries beneath the surface. Just as I found myself reveling in the joy of connection, a heavy thought pressed down, a dissonance that arose from witnessing conflicts brewing among the villagers. What was the purpose of my prayers and acts of kindness, if discord still tore at the seams of our community? The spirit of surrender felt challenging to navigate when I sensed so much unrest. Determined to seek deeper knowledge, I sought out the storyteller, the man at the riverbank whose wisdom had sparked a flicker of hope. I found him seated on a weathered stone, surrounded by the whispered echoes of ancient tales. He welcomed me with a knowing smile and gestured for me to join him. "Tell me," I began, "how does one contribute to healing in a world that seems fractured? My prayers feel like whispers against the clatter of discontent." He leaned back against the stone, contemplating the clouds drifting lazily in the sky before him. "Imagine each act of kindness as a seed," he said, his voice filling the space between us. "Nurturing one seed may not yield fruit in isolation, but it contributes to the broader ecosystem of possibility. When one heart opens, it inspires others to do the same." The question is not simply about influencing the outside world, but transforming oneself within. His words struck chords deep within me. Each effort, no matter how small, planted a seed within the rich soil of our shared experience. As I continued to gather threads of kindness and connection, perhaps I was indeed nurturing a garden of hope. Yet, a new concern unfurled. What if some seeds fell on barren ground? What if, despite my efforts, they did not grow? Underneath these questions was an invitation for reflection. How could I remain steadfast in my journey if my desire to connect sometimes clashed with the harsh realities of conflict? Was acceptance of the imperfect and the chaotic part of being truly present? The sun settled into the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, a gentle reminder of the impermanence of each moment. I found solace in the thought that even storms pass, allowing room for rebirth. Each prayer, however faint, was an offering to the collective consciousness and a chance for transformation in ways I could not yet comprehend. As I departed from our shared moment, a pang of uncertainty lingered within me. If we are all interconnected, how do we reconcile our individual paths with the larger narrative of community? How do we nurture those seeds when the ground is harsh and unforgiving? And in embracing the journey, how often are we willing to let go of control and trust the process unfolding around us? Each day carried its own essence, but the quiet invitation of the early morning unfolded something uniquely sacred. I began to rise before dawn, eager to align my breath with the rhythmic pulse of the earth. The air was dense with the promise of stillness, infused with possibility. I ventured to the highest point that bordered the Villahe, a gentle hill crowned with an ancient sycamore tree, its sprawling branches reaching outward like a welcoming embrace. On this particular morning, the horizon emerged like a golden ink spill, painting the sky in gradients of warmth. I climbed the familiar path to the tree, my heart beating to the echo of the whispers that lingered in the cool air. As I approached my sacred space, I felt the energy surrounding me shift. It hummed like the breath of nature, vibrant and alive. Settling at the foot of the sycamore, I closed my eyes and surrendered to the sensations around me. The breeze played in my hair, a gentle caress that stirred a deep longing within. I began my prayer, my voice rising softly to meet the dawn, a simple offering of gratitude for the day, for the roots that anchored me to this land, for the people who filled my life with lessons both gentle and fierce. Midway through my prayer, a sudden rustle from the tree branches caught my attention. As I opened my eyes, a figure appeared, silhouetted against the rising sun. It was an elder woman from the village, her hair silver like moonlight spilled over a dark ocean. She moved with grace, and her presence felt otherworldly, as if she were born of the very soil we stood upon. "Child," she spoke, her voice smooth and flowing like water, "do you know what lies within you?" I shook my head, unsure of the direction her question was taking. I felt the words tremble on my lips, an uneasy confession that despite my fervent prayers, I often felt disconnected from my own essence. She seemed to see straight through to the core of my being, her gaze piercing yet compassionate. "The sacred power within is not without conflict," she continued, "just as the river must carve its path through rock to flow forward. It is through the struggle that one finds clarity, but first you must journey inward." She gestured toward the horizon, where the sun was now fully awake, bathing the world in gold. "The energy of transformation resides in your heart. Each prayer, every act of kindness, is a flicker of that light. Yet to understand its radiance, you must also embrace the darkness, the unknowing, the fear and the grief. Only in acceptance can you truly shine." As her words wrapped around me, a profound realization settled within. I felt a wave of emotion surge, a bittersweet recognition that life was an intricate dance of shadows and light. The struggles I witnessed in the village, the arguments, the discontent were mere echoes of the deeper work being called forth. Each heart, including my own, was grappling with its own set of challenges, yearning for resolution but often left feeling fragmented. If you wish to nurture those seeds of kinship in the village," she continued, her eyes glowing with wisdom, "you must cultivate that understanding within yourself first. Seek harmony in your own soul's garden, embrace the entanglements of your existential, breathe life into the community around you." Her words resonated like a clarion call, inviting me to raise awareness about the conflicts both within and without. Perhaps it was time to welcome the darkness, to ask myself the deeper questions that lingered at the edges of my consciousness. Did I fear vulnerability? Was I holding on to anger or frustration without realizing it? What shadows haunted me that prevented the light from radiating freely? As we sat together in silence, the sun fully broke through the horizon, illuminating our surroundings and stirring the air with vitality. I felt a reconnection to the sacred power within me, a tether to the pulse of existence that unified us all. But just as quickly, new questions ebbed and flowed through me. How do I delve deeper into this sacred power when the path is shrouded in uncertainty? How do I navigate my own complexities while still reaching out to heal the fracture in our community? And in seeking to understand and accept my darkness, can I truly become a vessel for light in a world teetering on the edge of chaos? The sun hung higher in the sky as the elder's words echoed in my mind, rich and resonant like a drumbeat syncing with my heart. Every dawn seemed to invite a deeper understanding, yet with it came swirling questions that danced just beyond my grasp. I felt a stirring inside me, a need to further explore the shadowy corners of my spirit, to embrace the complexities of who I was becoming. Days turned into weeks, and with each morning at the foot of the sycamore tree, I practiced a gentle ritual of honesty, a prayer not only of gratitude but one of inquiry. I unfurled the layers of my heart, laying bare my fears and insecurities like an offering before the rising sun. I envisioned each unconfessed thought as a seed, some sprouting into vibrant blossoms while others lay dormant, waiting for the courage to break through the soil of my being. One morning, as dewdrops clung to the grass and the air shimmered with a sense of possibility, I returned to the sycamore feeling particularly heavy. Doesn't the light only hold power because of its contrast with darkness? I reflected on the yearning close to my heart, a desire to foster unity within the village, but the weight of sadness clouded my thought. Why is it that the world feels so divided? I murmured aloud, seeking comfort in the surrounding silence. I closed my eyes and leaned against the ancient trunk, imagining the roots intertwining with the very earth beneath me. What causes this fracture that grips our community? A fracture that also nests within me. It was then, in that moment of surrender, that I sensed an energy shift. The air thickened, enveloping me in a familiar embrace. As I opened my eyes, a young girl appeared, no more than 8 years old, her curls bouncing as she twirled in the morning light. Her laughter was a melody, bright and unguarded, a stark contrast to the heaviness in my heart. She paused, her eyes meeting mine as they sparkled with the wisdom of someone far beyond her years. "Why do you look so sad?" she asked, her voice as pure as the dawn itself. I hesitated, caught between my desire to shield my truth and my longing for connection. "There's conflict in my heart," I admitted, surprised to hear the words spill out unfiltered. "I want to find harmony, but sometimes it feels impossible." The girl tilted her head, pondering my words. "I find the whispers of the wind help me understand," she said thoughtfully. "When I listen, I hear stories that connect everyone, even when they're angry. It's like a bridge between us." Her innocence sparked something deep within me. "A bridge," I repeated, envisioning an archway constructed from shared understandings, compassion residing in the spaces between differences. "You're wise for someone so young," she giggled, brushing the compliment aside. "I just listen. Maybe you should do more of that." She twirled again, arms wide, absorbing the essence of the morning. "Sometimes, you have to let go and spin in the light. Sometimes it just takes a little dance." I felt my lips curve into a smile, the heaviness slowly dissipating in her vibrant energy. "A dance, huh? Perhaps I've become too caught up in the struggle instead of embracing the joy within the journey." She paused, consideration etched on her face, and whispered, "Fear is silly. The trees dance when it storms, and so should you. Show others how to feel the joy in the wind." With that, she resumed her twirl, bolting around the sycamore like she was part of the very breeze embracing us. My laughter bubbled up, infectious and free, and soon I joined her, twirling in circles under the strong branches of the tree, each revolution grounding me in trust in the process, trust in the connectedness of all beings. As the dance weaved itself into my spirit, a reflection emerged. Could our fears and differences be treated with such lightness? Were they not worthy of recognition, of a moment to be embraced rather than feared? Perhaps by allowing myself to dance with my uncertainties, I could mirror that invitation to others in the village. However, the deeper mystery loomed. As the girl eventually twirled away, returning to her world of laughter and simplicity, I was left in the quietude once more, with unaddressed thoughts spiraling in my mind. How could I begin to embrace the dance of life and invite others to do the same? Could a simple act, like acknowledging our shared struggles, lead to the healing we all needed? What if vulnerability was the bridge toward the radiant light we sought? Those questions echoed within me, each a thread yearning to be woven into the fabric of our community's story. As quickly as the girl had appeared, my heart held on to an unanswered inquiry, an unrelenting quest for harmony both within and beyond. What would arise if I fully opened to the transformative power of honest connection, allowing the light and the shadows to coexist in a symphony of existence? The days rolled by, each dawn unveiling not just the sun, but a deeper layer of my own consciousness. The laughter of the girl still echoed in my heart, a melody urging me to explore the dimensions of joy wrapped in the fabric of complexity. Each morning, I found myself sitting beneath the sycamore, drawing breath and energy from the ancient branches that reached for the sky. But with that lightness crept in whispers of uncertainty, shadowy thoughts weaving their way back to the surface. One particular morning, I found myself in conversation with the stillness, my reflection shimmering like the morning dew. Where is this joy? I questioned the universe, my voice barely a murmur against the rustle of leaves. Why does the heaviness return like a stubborn visitor that refuses to leave? As the sun ascended, its rays broke through the gaps in the canopy, illuminating the space around me. And that's when I noticed an unusual sight: a breathtaking butterfly flitting cautiously from petal to petal. Delicate yet resolute. There was something ethereal about it, a sense of purpose in its erratic dance. Mesmerized, I focused on its movement, the way it accompanied the rhythm of the breeze as though engaging in a conversation with the flowers. Do you also feel the weight of the world? I whispered softly to the butterfly, sharing my turmoil with this tiny being as if it could understand my inner struggles. The creature paused mid-flight, fluttering its wings gracefully, the action both mesmerizing and instructive. It was in that moment I recognized a lesson nestled within its movements. Transformation is often a process born of struggle, a testament to resilience. Not far from where I sat, I caught sight of a passerby, an artist, who often spent her days painting the landscapes that unfolded around our village. Today, however, her canvas remained blank, untouched. She leaned against the wall of the sycamore, staring into the distance with a furrowed brow, as if searching for something just out of reach. A thought flickered through my mind: the bridge. "Hey," I called softly, hoping to bridge the gap between her uncertainty and my own potential clarity. "Is something holding you back from creating today?" She turned, surprise softening her features. "It's like the colors are trapped within me," she sighed. "I see the beauty, but I can't seem to translate it onto the canvas." "Maybe you need a little dance," I suggested, inspired by the girl's wisdom. "The joy of creating is often hidden beneath the layers of fear. If we dance free, perhaps the art will flow with it." With a hesitant smile, the artist nodded, and together we began to sway gently to an unspoken melody, our movements mimicking the butterfly's delicate flight. Slowly, she began to laugh, a poignant breaking of the ice. It was as if the very act of embracing that moment reignited the sacred spark within her. As the rhythm of our movements echoed through the grove, the artist reached for her paints, her brush dancing across the canvas with newfound vigor. Colors erupted in strokes of joy, vibrant against the white and burgeoning like the blossoms awakening from their long slumber. "See?" I said, watching in awe as she lost herself in creation, the energy shifting in the air around us. Sometimes letting go of what holds us can reveal the beauty waiting to emerge. Once she had fully embraced the experience, she looked at me, her eyes gleaming with gratitude. "You've given me an unexpected gift," she remarked. "Sometimes, it just takes someone else's light to reflect our OW. And as I walked away from our newfound connection, an exhilaration pulsed beneath my skin. I had felt the manifestation of joy ripple through her, and in that exchange I too felt the weight lift from my shoulders. However, the deeper mystery continued to unravel. With every new question, new answers appeared like threads weaving themselves into a larger tapestry, the interconnection of spirit and vulnerability among souls. I wondered about the butterfly, how its path derived from the struggle cocooned in darkness, a reminder that beauty and pain could exist in harmonious balance. What awaited me as I continued to seek out these connections in my village? Could our collective experiences forge unity amidst diversity? Was it possible that vulnerability not only fosters understanding, but also transforms how we perceive ourselves and one another? I left the sycamore that day with a heart alight with possibility, yet filled with questions, my spirit no longer burdened, but eager to discover the sacred radiance lying in the dance of life. What unfolds when we allow ourselves to become not only the dancers, but the woven threads of one another's journeys? Dawn broke anew, gilding the horizon in brilliant shades of orange and pink, and as I stepped onto the familiar path leading to the ancient sycamore, a soft glow radiated within me, vibrant yet unpaved. Each footfall felt like a tender whisper of life reverberating through the earth, signaling my readiness to embrace the uncharted depths of existence. This had been a journey of awakening, one that had coaxed me to explore the sacred power within. Underneath the broad, welcoming branches of the sycamore, I settled into my newfound morning ritual. For weeks, I had cherished the beauty of connection, the warmth of compassion fluttering in my chest. Yet the questions that swirled around me now took on a life of their own. How could I transform these lessons learned off the interconnectedness of the light and dark into a lasting impact? Everything I had witnessed beckoned for reflection, urging me to reconsider what it truly meant to embody this transformative energy. As I closed my eyes, the ethereal stillness of the morning enveloped me, and I drew a deep breath, letting the cool air fill my lungs. I cast my consciousness outward into the unseen threads binding my spirit with the tapestry of the world. It was not just my journey alone. It was a shared navigation through shades of joy and sorrow, resilience and fear. I realized that awakening does not happen in a vacuum. It pulses through every heart, every life intertwining with another, creating a beautiful mosaic of human existence. In that fleeting moment, an unshakable understanding descended upon me. The sacred power within isn't merely personal. It transcends the self, igniting a divine connection amongst us all. A vision surged before my mind's eye, a horizon of faces, families, loved ones, each reflecting a longing for dispatch from loneliness, for recognition, for kinship. I understood then that my morning prayers, my whispered intentions, the daily threads woven through acts of kindness, they were manifestations of an invitation, not only to awaken my spirit but to help others awaken theirs. Suddenly, the winds shifted, gracing my cheeks with a gentle kiss, and I felt a profound calling to gather the villagers. It was not enough to dance in the light of my own transformation. I was being beckoned to create a space for communal awakening, to weave our individual threads into an even stronger fabric of unity. I opened my heart to this calling, believing with all my being that vulnerability and connection could pave the way for healing. With the sun inching higher, I made my way back to the village, a pulse of excitement coursing through me, determined to unite the lessons I had learned. As I moved through the square, I paused to invite neighbors one by one, my heart swelling with each interaction. I spoke of our inherent connectedness, of the sacred power within that urged us to dance through life's struggles together. No one was alone. We were woven in the same fabric, our joys and sorrows intertwined, and in bringing our light to the surface, we could spark a collective illumination. As I shared my vision, I could see the hesitation giving way to curiosity. The laughter of children played like a sweet refrain, weaving through the air, urging others to shake off their reservations and join this journey towards understanding. We spiraled into circles of care, vulnerability, and shared stories, shedding layers of heaviness and embracing the joy buried beneath our doubts. Many moons began to rise and set on this new ritual, and each dawn birthed a deeper awakening. We gathered at the foot of the sycamore regularly, reveling in acts of grace, sharing stories of struggle, dancing without inhibition, painting the canvases of our hearts before the backdrop of the painted skies. The fractures that once divided us began to heal as laughter replaced sorrow, understanding bloomed where ignorance had cast shadows, and connection manifested where disconnection once reigned. Despite the shifts toward transformation, I confronted the reality that shadows still ebbed around us, lurking at the edges of our awareness. But now, rather than fearing them, we recognized them as part of our story, a necessary element of life that when embraced, held the potential for growth. Each struggle was a seed nurturing resilience, pushing us to reach further toward the light. And in honoring that, we found compassion for ourselves and for one another. I sat beneath the sturdy sycamore not just as an individual on a solitary journey, but as part of a vibrant community, bound together by these revelations. We had co-created a sacred space of unyielding trust, where questions could roam free, and every heart would dance. Each day emerged with fresh promise, illuminating our paths as we shared in the symphony of our collective awakening. Our spirits tasted freedom and connection. We became one another's mirrors, reflecting strength and beauty back into the world. The village, the heartbeat of our shared existence, was now a thriving embodiment of that sacred power. As I closed my eyes one last time under the sprawling branches of the sycamore, I felt a current of love pulsing through me, each heartbeat echoing the truth of our existence. In that breathtaking moment, from the depths of my soul came the whisper of destiny. In embracing the sacred power within, we awaken not just ourselves but illuminate the sacred journey of being human, together. And just like that, my heart became a beacon, guiding not only my own path but lighting the way for every soul seeking the sacred dance of connection.